Urban legend. A humorous or horrific story or piece of information circulated as though true, especially one purporting to involve someone vaguely related or known to the teller. Urban legends exist in all parts of the world and are circulated from person to person. They tell of hauntings, murders, and can even be humorous as well. Some are true and others are not, or at one point were based on a truth. The United States of America is over 244 years old and is made of 50 states. Each state has its own story and culture to it, including its own urban legends. Urban legends that span a variety of supernatural and paranormal tales. From hauntings, cults, strange unknown beasts, to murderous killers, let us delve into the legends of these states. Welcome to Innocence Unknown. The United States is home to over 6,600 state parks, all with their own histories and stories to tell. Some were the sites of battles during the Civil and Revolutionary Wars, some just plots of land for the public to use. Every year, many flock to these parks to enjoy a weekend of camping, hiking, and many other recreational outdoor activities. It's not uncommon for accidents to happen, and people to go missing, or even fall victim to others with very dark intentions. All these incidents are just a recipe for haunted legends to rise and be circulated. One such park is Lum's Pond, located in Delaware. Home to the largest freshwater pond in Delaware and spanning 1,800 acres near Newcastle County. The pond itself encompasses 2,000 acres alone and was designated a state park in 1963. It was once a thriving community all the way back to the 1800s, and prior to that was home to several Native American hunting camps. It was even the home to part of the Underground Railroad. The pond was built to supply water to Lum's Mill in the 19th century and was owned by a father and son pair. The mill house had its share of ghostly history, being that visitors reported hearing the sounds of its water wheel turning, and upon inspection finding no workers present. It is not the mill, though, that Lum's Pond's haunted history is known for, though. In the 1970s, a runaway teenager ended up hiding out in the woods near the state park. As she was hiding out, she ended up coming face to face with a man living in the woods as well, who, according to the story, assaulted the woman and murdered her. The girl allegedly died near the bridge on one of the park's trails, and the visitors have claimed to see her wander the bridge. It is also said that while walking these trails, one can hear her calls for help and begging for life, or her screaming in fear and pain. Seems she is always reliving that horrible night. Often it is reported that while in the area, the temperature will unnaturally drop as well. Though this isn't the most terrifying part of the story. Authorities did find the girl's body after the murder. However, they never caught her killer. Many still say that he continues to live in the area. So if one goes hunting to see if her ghost does haunt the pond, it is possible you may find a very real danger outside of a wandering spirit. Florida was the 27th state to join the Union and often known as the Sunshine State. It's known for its beautiful tropical climate and sandy beaches, which often become the landing place for many a hurricane. Also home to the notorious Florida Man joke, a joke born out of many a wild story of Floridians doing many crazy things. It, like all U.S. states, has its fair share of strange stories and haunted urban legends. One such story is that of Pensacola Lighthouse. Built in 1858 and still standing today, it is considered to be one of the oldest lighthouses on the Gulf Coast. It stands 159 feet over the coast today and is home to many a spirit, including that of one of its most notorious keepers. A married couple, Michaela and Jeremiah, resided and tended to the lighthouse. The marriage started out happy as usual, and over time began to grow sour. The couple spent many nights and days arguing and fighting with each other. It is unknown if true or not, but it has also been claimed she suffered years of spousal abuse. Perhaps they just were a couple that couldn't get along. Whatever the case, Michaela was known to be very jealous of the lighthouse, and one night murdered her husband. Due to a lack of evidence, Michaela was not convicted of a crime, and was allowed to continue to tend to the place, until the day she passed away of natural causes within the very walls of the lighthouse. Today it is claimed that staying there you will hear footsteps moving up and down the stairs of the place, and will often hear a woman's voice calling out by name, specifically stating, "I'm watching you." Others have reported having items flung at them. Visitors have claimed to see a man or even a woman in the windows of the place, and when one is walking up the stairs, it's said one could sense a presence walking with them, and even feel and hear a cold breath among the back of their neck. Perhaps the strangest of all is the report of the blood stain. When the keeper's husband was murdered, a blood stain remained up until the place was refurbished. A local that lived in the house at the age of 10 claimed that he would try to clean the stain away, only for it to return later and be harder to clean every time it returned. The house is famous for its haunting, though it is still unknown if past residents still reside in the home. Perhaps next time you take a trip to Pensacola, Florida, you can visit the lighthouse and maybe have a meet and greet with its murderous past owner. Founded in 1733 as a British colony, Georgia became a state in 1788, and was one of the original states to succeed and join the Confederacy in the Civil War. It is home to many different urban legends and stories to tell, one of which is the mysterious incidents and odd sightings at Lake Lanier. The lake is a man-made structure that was created by flooding the valley communities. The land that was flooded was bought over by the government from the previous residents. This all left 700 families displaced, and though the cemeteries were relocated, including those in their final resting, not all were able to be relocated. To this day, if one decides to go diving within the lake, you can still see the buildings and roads left behind in the town. Perhaps this is why many claim it to be cursed, and where much of the lake's dark reputation begins. The lake has claimed many victims over the years, from people drowning in the lake to even becoming a dumping ground to a killer's victims. It is reported that since its opening and creation, the lake has claimed over 600, and not all get found either. The lake being 80 to 100 feet deep creates a problem with being able to properly search it. One diver claimed that while diving, they would reach out and feel an arm or a leg, only to find nothing there. There is even talk of a large catfish dwelling within the lake as well. The most notable of this story is that of the lady in blue wandering the Dawsonville Highway Bridge. In 1958, Delia Parker and her friend Susie Roberts headed out for a fun night and never returned home that night. The women's disappearance was a mystery for a long time, as only one of the bodies was ever found, and not even the car was found at the time. The body was found missing toes and both hands as well. 32 years later, in 1990, a construction crew working on the bridge found the vehicle and the body of a woman submerged in the lake. and was later identified to be the body of Susie Roberts. After all this time, both bodies were found and identified. It has been claimed by many that they have witnessed the ghost of Delia wandering the bridge in search of her hands, and is said she still can be seen today. Then there is the 1903 mill disaster. At the Gainesville Cotton Mill, many workers were there for a typical day when a tornado hit the building and resulted in the deaths of 88 men, women, and children. Today, many believe the spirits of the long dead still reside within the mill. It is not uncommon for the current employees to see movement out of the corner of their eyes, or feet scurrying around the building. Sometimes even the sounds of machinery and feet dragging across the floor. In one encounter, a woman was on her break, and she saw the doorknob begin to jiggle, and a hand come out from behind the door. And in another incident, someone witnessed the elevator open, and a figure stepped in, and then vanished into thin air. If you're brave enough, perhaps a visit to Lake Lanier may not just be a relaxing fishing spot, but could also be a terrifying place where not only the cursed lake claims others' lives, but many still stuck wandering the lake, as well as the old mill. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Perhaps click the bell for notifications, and remember, hell is empty, and the devils are here.